Do you know that the media sector in China is controlled by the government? You can see only what they want you to see. The Chinese government has long been known for its strict control over media and information flow within the country. The government's aim has always been to promote a positive image of the country and maintain social stability. As a result, they have implemented a complex system of censorship and regulation to control the media and the information that the public receives. In this video, you will learn how the Chinese government controls the media in China and its implications on the society. The Chinese government's control over media is achieved through several mechanisms, including censorship, regulation, and propaganda. The government has established various laws and regulations to control the media, including the State Secrets Law, the Law on the Protection of State Security, and the Internet Security Law. These laws are used to punish journalists and media outlets that publish sensitive information or criticize the government. One of the main methods used to control the media in China is censorship. The government controls what news and information are published by using a complex system of censorship. All news and media outlets in China must be approved by the government and obtain a license to operate. The government monitors these outlets to ensure that they do not publish anything that is critical of the government or its policies. The Chinese government has established the State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film, and Television (SAPPRFT) to regulate and censor the media. The SAPPRFT is responsible for monitoring all news and media outlets in China and ensuring that they comply with government guidelines. The SAPPRFT issues guidelines to media outlets on what can be published and what cannot. Any media outlet that violates these guidelines faces punishment, including fines, suspension, or revocation of their license. The Chinese government also uses propaganda to control the media. The government uses propaganda to promote a positive image of the country and its policies. The government controls all major media outlets in China, including newspapers, television, and radio stations. The government ensures that all news and information that is published is positive and promotes the government's policies. The government also controls the Internet in China, which has become a major source of news and information for Chinese citizens. The government has implemented the Great Firewall of China, which is a system of censorship and regulation that controls what websites can be accessed in China. The government blocks websites that are critical of the government or its policies, including social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. The Chinese government's control over the media has several implications for society. One of the main implications is the lack of freedom of speech and expression. The government's strict control over the media means that citizens are unable to express their opinions and criticize the government. This lack of freedom of speech has led to a culture of self-censorship, where individuals are afraid to express their opinions or speak out against the government. The government's control over the media has also led to a lack of transparency in government actions and policies. The government's censorship and propaganda mean that citizens are unable to access accurate information about government policies and actions. This lack of transparency can lead to mistrust and suspicion of the government. The Chinese government's control over the media has also led to a lack of diversity in news and information. The government's control over the media means that citizens are only exposed to news and information that promotes the government's policies and agenda. This lack of diversity in news and information can lead to a lack of critical thinking and understanding of different perspectives. In conclusion, the Chinese government's control over the media is achieved through a complex system of censorship, regulation, and propaganda. The government's strict control over the media has several implications for society, including a lack of freedom of speech and expression, a lack of transparency in government actions and policies, and a lack of diversity in news and information. The Chinese government's control over the media is likely to continue in the future,